Hey guys, welcome back for my review of episode 2 of Ninjago Crystalized, The Call of Home. This is a Nia-centered episode. We see her save a sailor from drowning in the middle of the ocean. And after this, Nia meets up with Niad, the previous elemental master of water. And Niad questions why Nia chose to intervene and save the drowning sailor. To try and regain her identity, Nia goes to both the bottom and the top of the ocean, where she sees the lanterns placed in her honor, and then she gets all of her memories back. After this, Nia decides to go to the lighthouse to try and meet Jay, but she is unable to maintain her form, and anyways, Jay isn't there. Nia talks to Niad once again, and concludes that if all of her powers were to be removed, she could potentially return to humanity. I really like the decision to include Niad in this episode, and it makes a lot of sense. She too is in this exact same position and is the ocean. And I also love the contrast between Niad and Nia. Nia, as we see, is willing to save people, and I love that she does in this episode. It shows that even though she is a new person now, some of those traits from her old personality have carried over. She is still wanting to help people. But anyways, back to this contrast, Niad, on the other hand, does not intervene because at the end of the day, she views it as an insignificant thing. People die, and it's just not that big of a deal. I really like the contrast here. I think it makes sense given that Niad has been in this role for thousands of years. I also have to say the animation is stunning. Nia and Niad, very bright blue against the deep, dark ocean, such as in my thumbnail shot. And I also like that the flashback includes scenes from Will Film. I don't think it would be bad if they didn't do this, but it's just kind of fun to see these season 6 clips. It's very nostalgic for sure. And Nia's voice acting, it sounds very blank and emotionless, at the start of the episode. And in no way am I saying this as a bad thing. It is clearly a very intentional thing, and it contributes to this idea that Nia has lost her identity. But when she gets her memories back, we see her voice acting go back to normal, and I think this shift is done really nicely. Overall, I think this episode explores identity and belonging very well, and I like how we get to see Nia in this new environment. Unfortunately, I also have some pretty big issues with this episode. Nia is more or less, in terms of her personality, back to normal in this episode. And the way they do it is a big problem, I have to say. Nia goes up, she looks at the lantern or whatever that thing is, and she gets her memories back. This is very reminiscent of another Wild Brain scene, which was heavily criticized when it came out, including by me, and that is when the Ice Emperor gets his memories back. In the cases of both, it's not the actual montage that's bad, it's the idea that these characters go back to normal so quickly. And I feel like in this episode, it's an issue, honestly. Nia's mental return in this episode is too quick and too soon. I feel like it would have been better as if they had done this more gradually. Have episodes where slowly she makes progress. Not just have her look at a lantern and have everything come back. And then the other issue is it's too soon. This is the second episode of the season. It's 2 episodes after the Seabound finale. We don't have to have Nia back so quickly in this season. And I feel like this episode has a lot of great character work, but it also moves too quickly. And that is definitely an issue with the plot. The plot of this episode is just not well paced in areas. And unfortunately, I think that does damage to Nia's overall return in the season. And, as for character work, great stuff. I think it's really cool to see Niad and Nia too, struggling with this question of who she is. And of course, the contrasts between them. There's some action at the start of this episode. It's great to see Nia continue to do selfless acts. And as for emotion, I love the montage scene, even though, as I said, it does feel too quick. So my final rating for this episode is a 7.5 out of 10. I feel like this episode is enjoyable enough, but it does have some issues, which unfortunately I think are going to hurt parts of the season. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone and everyone you know. Share your thoughts on episode 2 below, and I'll see you guys next time.